seek paradise. Won't change your mind. Can't shake the lights. I'll take the chance and roll the dice. I want it all, just for the night. I live it out like I'll never die. I lose my head in the starry skies. Can't chain me down, I feel so alive. Back down, only one way out. I let you run my life. Now you won't get me down. Untamed, guess I lost my mind. You turn me inside out. No one can stop me now. So turn up the light. Turn up the light. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. 'Cause the time keeps turning, feels just like it speeds up. It's what I waited for. Close your eyes, seek paradise. Won't change your mind. Can't shake the light. I'll take the chance and roll the dice. Just wanna feel the stars surround. The atmosphere never to come down. I'll stand alone, whether right or wrong. It takes me home, right where I belong. Back down, only one way out. I let you run my life. Now you won't get me down. Untamed, guess I lost my mind. You turn me inside out. No one can stop me now. So turn up the light. Turn up the light. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. 'Cause the time keeps turning, feels just like it speeds up. It's what I waited for.
When I let you go, ooh, I just pull you closer. Ooh, I can't understand where it came from, but you got it, I got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. don't understand where it came from, but you're back in with the passion. I'm awake with the flame in a hailstorm. I'm back in, I gotta have it. Everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pull you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long departure.
Close your eyes. Would you dream for me? Some paradise. Tell me who you see, 'cause I think I do want you next to me. Want you next to me, but does this work? 'Cause I know I can't get to you. I like the chase, and I know you do too. Am I just in love with the idea of you? 'Cause I'd cross a million seas. Would you do that for me? Yeah, I'd fly this whole world twice if I could be your paradise. Close your eyes. Will you dream for me? Some paradise. Tell me who you see, 'cause I think I know what you mean to me. What you mean to me, but does this work? Only 'cause we never say what we think. Waiting for the perfect way. Time zone speak. Got me on delay. 'Cause I cross a million seas. Would you do that for me? Goddamn road 3 times, and I'd run all the red lights across a million seas just to have you next to me. Paris and Tokyo, I go where I have to go. Screw geography, but would you do that for me? lost control. Will you help me?
Feels like I might be losing my grip. Oh yeah, I am. What you gonna say? What you gonna do when I lost control? We are lost. Yeah, we lost control. Yeah, we lost control.
Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me? Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me?
A little bit of light, a little bit of gold. Under pressure, you start to fold like a diamond from gold. Maybe you are something I cannot define. Maybe you are the fallen kind. I lay in bed with violence, the silent side of me. We see where fire starts to breathe. When I would lay in silence, the voice inside of me
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the inaugural grand final of the first EPULZE Invitational within CSGO. We are here now for today to watch Eclot take on Nexus Gaming in what is battling for all of the prize pool here. The 10k prize pool for this tournament all go into these finalists. 70% or just 7k of it go into the winner. The rest go into the loser, but even if they don't walk out with nothing, the loser that is clearly one that you want to take home in the first EPULZE tournament we've got going in the CSGO circuit. We start here on Inferno. It's going to be Nexus on that CT side as Eclot picked the map, and it's going to be Low next on that B site as they walk through here. Eclot walking into plenty of headshots from not only Low next, but also from the rest on the site. Nubik left all alone after Launex did all that he could to really hold him off, and he will surely not even get a bomb plant off here with two players stacked up in CT alongside. Obviously that player's still by Newbox. He peeks in, gets the one kill. I'm not seeing them both. Tries to take the fights individually here. Now with the USP as well. Having to peek out. Oh, what a one tap. Nubik on course for it still. Cemente peeks out, but looking a little bit dodgy all of a sudden. Nubik has the confidence. Goes for the bomb plant completely. Cemente peeks out. Nubik wins it. A 1-on-4 to kick off this grand final. As Eclot have round one. Timeout is called. And the Czech side will surely stand as the more confident one on their own map pick, sending a bit of a message despite Launex's best efforts. Simply was not enough to keep Nubik at bay. What a monster clutch that is. A perfect start for Eclot it turns out to be. That would have got a whole lot trickier. But with a bomb plant and of course with the win, now they get a buy up. Now they maybe even get to take charge within this first half of the first map of this series. But it is a series. Not all to be played here on Inferno. We've got Dust 2 coming up as Nexus's map pick. We've also got Mirage as a potential decider. A pretty predictable veto in some way in terms of what maps were to be played. These teams sort of going for their strengths in a lot of ways. Almost surprised Eclot didn't decide to just bat out Dust 2, but I think they were a little bit afraid of Nuke getting picked in that case, and they do have that as more or less just pretty much a permaban. These teams, having played each other before as well, was over in the Pinnacle Winter Series where they had to battle it out just at the end of February. That was Detour's first match and series with Eclot. And he played really well that time out through all of it as Eclot won 2-1 in the end. After a bit of a domination on that final map of Inferno that time. Having picked Mirage and still winning it, but not super surprising I think that they picked Inferno this time and let Mirage be the decider. Feels like they are even that little bit better on this map, and potentially Nexus that little bit weaker on this map of Inferno. Even starting on the T side. Nexus having quite a weak T side. It should be mentioned when they've played it in the past. It's kind of their weakness on this map in some regards, even if they have won it within this tournament. For example, when they beat out Offset in the semi-finals, winning not just on Mirage but also there in the end 16-6 on Inferno. Did do a good job on that one, but that was mostly on CT. And it didn't feel like Offset were quite on the same level individually. The battle taking place today were both these teams of high caliber. Nexus do decide force up a little bit here. A couple of pistols coming through, but also that rifle on Lone X and a scout on XL. Valencia though, nice shot to kick this one off. In there as well. Nice effort. Even if Cemente gets a kill back, it should not last for too long, this A-site defense. They've got some cavalry coming through, I guess, but kind of missing on the utility. BTN disrespects that smoke to at least get in there on the site before it's completely taken over. Only one player killed off, and there they go. Well timed through all of them as Detour picks up a triple kill in that round. That makes it 2-0 Eclot. And Nexus Gaming stuck with just no money in this round, basically. We really did praise Eclot yesterday, me and Hytheria, who obviously covered both of the semi-finals games yesterday when Eclot went out in that Czech derby against Isuba. The way they played the way they played this T side, I thought was fantastic. Just splitting up these different areas of the maps and not even necessarily going for double peaks a lot of the time. They trust Valencia with apartments and they trust Detour towards that base site. This time it is a double peak. This time Valencia actually gets caught, so that's not a good turnout. Just as I was praising. They're able to lose these types of rounds. Good kill from Detour. They do clear out B. Dragon could do some damage. Almost got a kill there, but even with the low health on that T side, stay alive for now. I think they're all one shot away from being killed. Even by USP. Dragon peeks through. Nobody giving him anything to work with here, really. As the nade comes right back, what a nade that turns out to be. Don't make some intake. And all the damaged players kept going off a little bit, and they still picked up one kill, but that's all he'll find. With Eclot getting those 2 AKs they bought into the round carried over. No great losses within that one round. They got a 3-0 start instead with plenty to go off of. Nexus, meanwhile, do definitely want to win this round, this gun round. Stay in the early part of this first half of Inferno. Xello does get an ult. Nothing of the sort for Capson. He uses that towards A. Looks like they want to go aggressive. Get into the middle this time, actually. And then go for the boost. No one in there. He's still shot away there. Because of the flashbang. Which may alert these Eclot players. Capson might not have been as confident here on the Mach 10. They will want to peek through. Molotov into short. Into the top side of mid. Braga. Something challenge? Not much more than a tentative look here on both ends right now. Peacock not necessarily resting on their laurels on that A site. Nexus Gaming will push a lot of players through to acknowledge the fact that it is going to be the B site attacked. Eclot, if they take their time with this, they could really get punished. Valencia also, but he peeks out. That's a great kill to find. Because now it does create a little bit of uncertainty. Nexus don't know what to make of it. Eclot still throw out the smokes here towards the B site. They're headed back for A with 25 on the clock. 2 players here. In fact, the third joining him. Braga does some damage. Siminte as well. The spray is good. And Eclot rotate one too many times. Even as Valencia finds a kill back, it's not going to be enough here. And Nexus have 1 on the board. Easy when the pressure gets to you. Even in just the first gun round of the grand final to sort of overthink it on a map like Inferno. They kept going towards B there, it would have been fine. Nexus don't really love to over-rotate on a map like this where it does take so long. Which I can't kind of understand. I do like that system on specifically Inferno. Because it makes for... It doesn't create too much inefficiency. What I mean by that is, when you're rotating over, especially on Inferno, you're just doing nothing basically. You're running, holding W for 10, 15 seconds almost. Or no action. You can just do nothing except maybe throw a smoke over. Or maybe a flashbang. And so just keeping them on their sites, keeping them active, holding these angles instead, it feels like aspect of trusting your players a little bit more in the duels, but also ask them in a more efficient manner. Holding off that CT side. Here's Deacon. Straight into the fight. Slownex actually gets away with that one. Nubik, not to catch him quite fully off guard, but I think they have seen him towards CT now, so should be aware that maybe could be a boost. Xello gets one kill on the A site. Eclot will go all out towards B. Have to check for this. Nubik does not. Still not with a frag. BTN. He gets nothing. Nubik in there, but he goes down. Finally a trade. It's not enough. As K1 Fida is just way too low. If Capstan had that next kill, he would have still had a chance on the round. No, not so much. All lines was being attacked. Simply couldn't look everywhere. It turns out to be that second round for Nexus, which really does break Dynamo Eclot's economy now. A couple of Eagles might come out. If even that. Yeah, Capstan gets one on him, but the rest not even upgraded pistols for the most part here. Having to take a timeout to discuss it all. Nexus will have to put up quite a few rounds on the CT side if they are to compete on this map. Do not have a strong T side on Inferno. In HLTV games, only about a 35% win rate on that T side, which is not good, as you can probably imagine. Almost getting 62% of their rounds on CT. Not winning 62% of their CT rounds, that is just the share of how many rounds they win. A lot of them on that CT side. K1 hanged out. Braga actually got aggressive there. Rightfully so. With kills mostly going in Nexus' favour. And not many on the other way. It's going to be a tied up scoreline, look like. All intents and purposes here. Good stuff. In the end, even if they do lose a rifle, I think they're going to be alright with that. That's for sure. Vaga, Launex, the one starting this one off hot in terms of the fragging, I'd say, on the server as a whole. Kind of lines up with what the stats would indicate when it comes to players who are overperforming on this map. It is definitely someone like Raga, who both plays top in terms of just the general fragging and so on, but he's also the one who kind of overperforms the most. Otherwise the indicator's kind of expected. Cello usually drops on this map. The Opper finds a way there. And what's not really an Opper's map. Second kill of the game for him. Valencia needs the trade. Make it competitive. Cemente against Valencia. Good strike. And Eclot look more bleak now than perhaps anticipated for this first half of the T side. You compare it to their game against the Suba as well. The difference is quite stark. Raga will try to peek now. Could lock this entire round up if he gets a kill just in general. But no good. And that's really hurtful now. BTN left alone on B. All they need is that frag. And a window back into the round as a whole, and maybe as back to the lead. There it is. Detour. It's the two vital entry frags. And the bomb is down for the 3-on-3 retake. Several Molotovs used early on here for Nexus. Maybe too early. They do want to speed up this retake now. X caught off. The rest go through CT. Detour creeps up. It's Capstan again. And Excello with way too many to kill. K1 Fida trades him out. Had a chance there for a moment, but the Opper could not stand for the entire 1-on-3. I'm not sure if I can really blame him for that. Didn't feel like a Super coordinated retake in general, that timeout. And losing that 5 on Frey. Not getting a single kill on the B site, and then, again, not necessarily playing too well in the retake either. As they got to an even position. Not a great sign for Nexus. And even on paper, that puts them back. A spot where they definitely aren't the ones who are going to be setting the tempo for this half, at least as it looks right now. Eclot instead have a chance to break their economy. If that does go the other way as well. Excello in mid. Trusting that smoke by some margin. Plenty of mid presence actually here from the CTs. It's attacked by Eclot, but the CTs work it out. Capson peeks in, he gets one, but it's all they'll find. Bomb dropped as well, Valencia. What a frag. And yet again, Eclot work their way back bit by bit until they get shut down. 4-4. So not too bad after all. I think maybe I was a bit too harsh. Nexus is the ones to break the economy instead. And have placed themselves right back in a tied position, but also where they're just facing an eco here. You'd expect them to take the lead now. Vitor gets an AK. Interesting choice there. I think if they lose this round, he'll have to buy up maybe a Deagle or so, while the rest get AKs. Maybe a trade-off that's worth it. With some good Deagle players on this team as well. Valencia's in there. He's got Tech Knight. So the others headed for B. Vitor included within that, obviously. That AK on his back. Really important getting to open up that B site. They just needed to hold off the one. That's easy pickings for him. Eclot attack B in the meantime. The blocks come out. BTN goes down. Traded there from Lonex, but 2 rifles in play for the T side. Caps it on a head-on-head duel. No armor. The tough fights. A trade at least there for Detour, but more than one plat not to be expected now. As Captain will have to peek it wide open to get that bomb. Way too many. Facing up against it. In the end, not a bad round for Nexus, I think. Obviously, picking up that lead is it's what's most important. Even as Eclot do get a few kills on the board, it's nothing major to limit that CT economy for this round. And for this buy. So now it's Eclot who look to stay in it and tie things back up. It has been a tight half so far. Right from the very start. Next back again. They go a little bit more aggressive there. Did want the peek in mid. Capson could have had his head knocked off. Not quite this time. The CTs. Let's go for early control in Banana. Detour to deny it. But only a Mach 10 on him. Walking straight into that nade. Let's put a 3 here towards B. Interesting decision. Maybe a risky one. Definitely a risky one. Going for more control. Yeah, they have to rotate back now. And they do. They are quite pushed up now with no util. 50 seconds. Eclot ignore that entire section of the map. But at least Nexus have been able to funnel them in now. Have to go for A, and they did. Dragon. Chance to really knock it down. The spray. Good for the one. As Excello gets away initially. Catches off K1 Feeder. He's traded. Cemente as well as the rotates are so quick on their heels here. Eclot getting caught by the good kill though. Valencio has the clutch opportunity. Not looking for the flankers. Both on short now with only 10 seconds. Surely out of reach, he peeks in, it's Launex to take him down. The teammate comes up for Nexus, and it really did feel like that type of round where the whole team was contributing. Solid job initially on just holding off from the A side, but the rotations as well. Vital there that they were able to flank so early on and catch a couple of those Eclot players before they got into the site. As Eclot forced back down to the pistols. I think Eclot at least need 2 free rounds here. On the T side, if they're going to feel comfortable with switching over. It's not a guarantee anymore. Nexus looking stronger and stronger here on the CT side. Look if they can continue to do just that. Now against the pistols trying to overwhelm this A site. Stello misses. Gets a second chance. He falls away on one. Valencio trades. Valencio and Co have taken them all down. 3-on-2 for Eclot. Bomb down as well. As those B rotates yet again have to step up. With BTN massively naded down. Slowing down instead on the retake. All with rifles now here on Eclot. After successfully overwhelming the site to finish the job. Valencio, a crucial part of that. He locks it up from apartments. And having already done the damage to BTN, takes the fight again, wins it, Valencio. With a 4K in that round. To get a 5th on the board for Eclot with just the pistol invested there. Crucial stuff. Valencio, that metronome as a presence. Seems to always be able to stabilize in those types of situations. So when he gets an angle like that, he's rarely going to lose a lot of those 50-50 duels on the rifle. Even if he has been more questionable, I'd say, in apartments today. Not quite looked as vibrant or even as adventurous. He is still an important presence to this team. I think Eclot are just... It's kind of their strength, the fact that they have so many vital parts of the team. To the point where even if one plays a little bit more poorly in their position than what you're used to, the other can really make up for that. Putting a lot of their focus on the rifle players as well, unlike a lot of teams. Maps like Inferno, that shines through the rifler's ability to make a difference in the likes of Detour, Valencio, but also in King and in Nubik. That's the beautiful part of this Eclot roster. Once you name one or two, it's hard to not just mention every player in that category. Like with the riflers. Even Capson gets to pick up the rifle here a lot. Opping this round, but not making a big difference because he just doesn't have to. Nexus Gaming, they got completely shut out of it, as you'd expect. BTN walk through, not to be caught off. K1 Fido, another overperformer on this map. When you look at his rating, usually he's sort of almost at the bottom for the team in a weird way, even if he is often putting up some good stats, but on Inferno, a top fragger a lot of the time. Detour Capson, part of that crew that really keep it ticking on Inferno. Rifle round then here at 6-all. Maybe to take control of this late stage of the first half, as Eclot have at least secured 6 rounds before they move over to the CT side. Nexus might need a couple more ahead of that second half, in that the T side is not quite as strong. Not anywhere near as strong. Which obviously got shown up last time these two teams played on Inferno. And that first half went 12-3 in Eclot's direction. On that CT side for them. The decider there as they picked up the series 2-1 that time. Minute on the clock. Nexus starting to rotate over now, but only 2 players at this very moment. Eclot to attack the site. If only some Inti and Raga on it. I guess BTN as well. I think you're way more patiently here, Eclot. That's smart though. I like that Molotov. Forcing back Excella. No op to hinder them. And no utility for the CTs either, essentially, on this A site. All that they have to guard with is the M4s. BTN takes 1. Eclot to come out of apartment slowly. And really badly. What a poor execute. Nexus half 7. That is not the first time this game where we're at a pretty pivotal point of the first half and Eclot kind of overthink on their T side. Going a little bit too slowly that side. Capson, wow. Just about stays alive. But we had that, I think it was 3-all in that rifle round where Eclot that time rotated 1 too many times. Here it was just, again, way too methodical. As they tried to make their way through, they had an okay setup. But walking their way into balcony. The Nexus attack Banana. Excello out of it. Locks at least there with a trade. A nade to try and do it. Detour in. The rotate's already here for Nexus. Still contesting in top Banana. But all even. Turns that man to man. BTN comes back. Waiting. On the flashbang from Lonex. Here he comes. And a trade. Still a deadlock. In some capacity. Which results in Banana inconclusive. I guess Eclot, it favours them in some regard because they do still get control of Banana, and when you only have 3 players on that CT side of Inferno, you start to spread a little bit thin. Unfortunately to play 2 on A here. Eclot put up a couple smokes. That won't change. Might want to back away. Cemente preemptively walking towards the B site. Wonder if he'll actually make an impact. I think he should probably just get smoked off here. But Eclot yet again taking a lot of time. Cemente gets pretty close. Molotov. Not sure if it belongs initially. Oh, that does. Now Nexus is forced out. Valencio has it. Cemente challenges this no good. And that time, the Eclot execute looking a whole lot better. They have 7. So even if that one is just as methodical, if not even more so, just a lot more coordinated. And I don't think Nexus were ready at all for such an expansive execute when it was only 20 seconds left. Now Next dug deep. He kind of dug his own grave in some way. He's that deep there in on the B site. Ragu does get a save off, but Eclot will be happy with that 7th. Not sure if this last round will play much of a difference, but if anything else, I guess it provides a bit of a mental edge coming into that second half. A psychological win in some way. Ending on a high note and so on. Eclot look better prepped for that ending. Nexus with a mixed bag here coming into the final round of the first half. As Excella. Kind of perfect archetype for it all. Very symptomatic of the round. The fact that he's having to use a scout here. Capson's AWP. Keeping free on that A site. I guess they do actually have some utility here, the CTs. More than you'd expect from this forced buy, sort of forced type of round, which also is a forced buy, where you're just looking for the best rifles and so on. They do still have some smokes on the board, a couple of Molotovs, but unfortunately for them, most of those on the B site. As the Eclot yet again look to enter up A. Raga, a big part in trying to stop this. If he can get a few on the board, flashes in, I'll walk away from it. Eclot don't really show their hand. Detour playing from top. Banana gets shot out. Massive for Nexus. With a mass exodus from the B site. One on B now. As Eclot have rotated over, K1 has to show himself. Oh, and he does. Getting the kill. Spotting out Cemente. Oh, and he gets that one as well. Nexus caught between many rocks and many hard places. Back and forth they go. Lonks is there on the site. Excello! What a shot! Oh, they have turned it back! Nexus Gaming somehow make it work. As Excello completely dominates on his SSG. And Launex holds up on the A site. In what looked like a really tough round to win out on. Nexus Gaming do get the very slight lead after that first half. Moving on to the C side. Where, as I've been pointing out quite a few times, they're just not great on Nexus. Only won about 35% of their rounds here on this side. And only won 3 out of 15 against Eclot last time they played. This round could do quite a lot. With us being as close as you can be to a tight game coming into that second half. The attack. Raga kicks it off. Nice shot. He has plenty of cavalry as well. Valencio not able to take any of those out. They have the rotates here. Nexus smoke off towards Arch. K1 feed are not really affected. But he makes that choice. Which could significantly isolate Detour. Alone on B. To cover off both towards CT and Banana. As the attack comes through, walks straight into Lone X. And basically gives up halfway through. That's Eclot. Getting run over. Nubik and Valencio obviously have to go for the retake. Nubik actually looking convincing within it before he gets knocked out. 9-7. And Nexus, this could be the streak. You see, even if they lose this game, you wouldn't put Nexus too far behind. That Dust 2 almost feels like a given going their way. But I'm not sure if that is the case with Eclot. Like, if Eclot lose this game, it really does look bad for them. And if they win it, again, I'm not sure if they're that much ahead. It's kind of a lose-lose in a way. Goes down. Having forced up in this round, they may give up both the 10th and 11th before they actually get to a bye round. At some stage, you're going to get to those must-win rounds. Maybe a little bit too early for my liking if it's your own map pick. Nexus playing it patiently for now. Walks straight into the he fakes towards A. But that kill not going his way is not a sign of strength. The rotates are on their way. K1 feed out. Oh, walking headshot! The Deagle only gets the one, but that's a 3-on-3 as Nubik is flashed all the way in. He goes down. And so Raga has kept it under control. Valencio still shoots him out of sky. But the Deagle on him will have to last for all of this round. Nexus stack up to the Q-box. The peak, no good. And Nexus have the round. Eclot having an eco in this one then. With very minimum investment expected. Yeah, not looking like a round they'll win, put it that way. Nexus surely will just continue to play that slower style. Which could definitely work for against an Eclot side that are a little bit unpredictable. That can swing even in rounds where you don't expect them to. Flash a little bit late there. Very late, in fact. Cemente punishes Capson's lateness on the peak as well. Not a lot of great moments to be spun out of this round. It feels like Eclot kind of just getting run over again. Not even the Deagle can save them there. As K1 feeder with only a USP goes down. 11-7 and a gun round to see if Eclot can still hang with them. You have to pick up a single round here on the CT side, and now they might have to. Because if they don't win this round, we are going to see them in a must-win situation in the following gun round. These 5 and 4s to face what is basically just a bonus round here for Nexus. With no reinvestment needed, they play with house money on this one. Lanex. They damaged significant actually. That was in apartments, I think. Where Nexus is spread out. I'm wanting to spread their wings over in mid as well. Nobody looking for that specific angle. They flashed away, I guess Valencia, only player to even be mindful of it. Sees a couple pixels run by. They'll back off. Eclot stack up on Arch. That is where some part of the attack is coming. Raga. The trade. And so still 2 players remaining here on the A site. A third one wanting to rotate, but not necessarily going all the way in K1 feeder. As Dynamo Eclot yet again play together. Stacking up, pushing up, short. Now the K1 feeder want to rotate back all the way with nobody being seen yet from Nexus. We're expecting a bit of aggression, but not quite getting it. A late push into apartments or out of balcony is what they'll have to rest on. As Excel will flash through, Capson not affected. Capson gets 1. Valencio in there as well. What a shot. To maybe get them to an 8th. There it is. Valencio pushes them all the way there. That is Nexus Gaming getting a bye again. But some positive momentum for Eclot on the CT side is definitely something that was needed. With that uphill battle of Dust 2 coming up. This is Eclot's map pick for anyone not joining. For anyone who hasn't been with us here for too long, this is the grand final of the inaugural EPULZE Invitational within CSGO. We do have Dust 2 and Mirage on the way. All 3 of these maps having been played before between these teams. Prior tournaments. Different tournaments. Nexus won't have a lot of money up in this round if they lose. No longer can they stay comfortable in the fact that it is a bonus round, because it's really not. No safety net here. So at about minute 10, they just kind of spam through in different locations of the map. Eclot not giving them a lot here. Detour does play up sandbags. K1 feeder no flash here to assist them. The Molotov not going to be used. Detour the spray instead. Doesn't get out live, but it is still a 4-on-3. As Nexus look for A instead. That's Cemente up. Coming from apartments. His teammate's already gone down. Cemente in there. What a spray. 2-on-2, 2-on-1. And they flipped it right back. With the two remaining players both getting 2 in the round. Time, an issue, but Zelos should still be able to get to the A set in time. Sementia fight straight on. Nubik wins it! Excello runs B. Has the time to do it with, but Nubik, oh no, he walks. He probably could have probably caught off Excello there. Not the case. Oh no, he thinks it's A. Oh, now he does. Good thing for him that Excello smoked away. But both have the information now. In fact, Nubik doesn't. Thinking about it, Excello could be anywhere. He plays towards Banana here. It is on Nubik. He'll take his time. But he'll have to watch for that tight angle by Banana. Does he even check it? Peeking out. Yes, he does. Oh, but not wholeheartedly. And you've just got to put your whole hearts in it. Sementia, Excello, they flip that round. And get it right back in Nexus's favor. By a 4-round margin now. Subject to grow. Eclot. Only investing a couple of deagles into this round. Only a bit of armor. Far back yet again. They have been for a long time. That is so accurate. I think we should start to see Eclot maybe mixing it up, though. Specifically towards Banana. I've seen some intentions there from Detour sometimes, where he wants to push up, but they just have enough utility in that extra round. I think we might see a full-blown sort of Banana take. The next gun round, which will be a pivotal one. Nubik wants to peek through. As Detour provides a little bit of a distraction. He tags up BTN. Now looks for CT. Either way, it's a sort of reserve here for the CTs. Nexus planting on the A site, but they do lose in that full zone. No kills found. And a steady T economy as a result for Nexus Gaming. We're 5 rounds ahead on Eclot's map pick. This would be a massive win. Because once we switch over to Dust 2, that almost feels like a lock-in Nexus's favour. Eclot, an uphill battle for them there. So a lot of this series, as maybe even getting to whether we get to a third map or not, is in some part going to be decided in this round and these types of must-win rounds for Eclot. On their own map pick of Inferno, they've got 2 players on A for now. Rotate on the way. Not perfect utility here either. For Valencio and K1 Feeder guarding it. Or Nubik guarding it rather. Valencio and Nubik. K1 Feeder was on the way. So is. Nexus do have top mid. Betting an Eclot. Actually, could have taken a peek there into Banana. Maybe rotate one over. They don't decide to. Instead, Nubik has to boost it up here towards Arch Raga. Not expecting a double lineup. He gets both in the spray down. No chance for a refrag. A horrible outset for Nexus with 40 on the clock. That's Valencio. Just to hold it down. That's what he does best. From that pit angle. You can see Nexus Gaming grasping for straws now. As Excello's tagged up. BTN. Not much of a hope there. Excello with a kill back. It's not going to be enough. Eclot have 9. And yet another round here on the CT side where just when they're about to lose the game completely, they do keep themselves in it. But we have to see them build up a streak. This was the problem Offset had against Nexus yesterday on Mirage, where they got that one round back to sort of keep themselves above water for a little bit, but they were never able to get that streak going. And if you just can never build up that streak when you're in a 4-round deficit, if you keep trading rounds, especially on that CT side, you are not going to be the victors in any sense. Almost another must win. They take a timeout here with the gravity of the situation surely setting in. Nexus, no Mach 10s this time around either. A better round for them in some regards within the buy. Even if the Eclot had boosted the utility here as well. Needing a technical for just the one moment. Capson. We'll try to sort that out real quick for the rest of us waiting for what is again quite an important round in both this map and the entire series. As I mentioned, the last time these two teams played, that Pinnacle Winter Series just at the end of February. That was Detour's first map with Eclot. And he really put up some great stats in that one through all 3 maps as they won it 2-1. Closing it out 16-4 on Inferno that time. But looking a little bit more difficult for them here. Yesterday, both these teams obviously getting through the semi-finals, with both these teams having previously won their groups as well. Even if Eclot had the slightly easier road. Through that group stage. You could also say they did have to face Isuba in the semis. Eventually taking them out in just 2 maps. Same as Nexus taking down Offset, where I think it was Launex who particularly stood out with an electric performance there in their dismantling of the Portuguese hope we had for the tournament. More of a team effort when Eclot were able to substantially limit Isuba in that Czech derby. Back into the grand final. It's Eclot looking for a 10th round on their own map pick of Inferno. Capson is there with an up. Boosted. What a flick! Capson with the damage dealt as well. Nexus completely evacuating Banana with 3 players to face on A. They heard the up on B, think it's gonna be an easy ride here, but Nubik standing. Valencia as well, they set up the crossfire. And Nexus dismantled. And Nubik and Valencia get 2 each. On that ace site. Locking in a 10-13 score. It's Nexus on the weaker economy now. As Dynamo Eclot look for the positive momentum to really swing their way. A streak to be built up perhaps against... It's mainly just Glocks. Perhaps it looks sharp here. Coming out of the timeout. Maybe he had a bit of lag before he dropped off the server. Something that was affecting him. Syria looks really, really on point. Hits that shot again. Peeks out. Wow. A very clean round. As Eclot keep all 5 alive. Here's Nexus with a buyback. If they don't win this one, that lead in jeopardy. Lead that took a lot of effort to build up. on this T side, which has been better than what it typically is for Nexus. Five AKs come through. X and BTM. One took the challenge of Banana, but they have been scared away a little bit there in that portion of the map. No nade to really counteract this BTN tag down. Good for Eclot to at least do something there with in terms of damage. Caps in here as well, looking to entry once more. Double peek in apartments, but that goes both ways, and the CTs have it all. 5-on-3. As Eclot look very electric now on that CT side. Like their old selves on this map are reawakening. Has put them up with a lot of rounds in a row, but a couple more on the way perhaps. Nexus won't be. It is their one option really. I don't think they can even decide to go away at this point, but then they won't be there with the Molotov. That's gonna delay them. Smoke a little bit late. In fact, K1 Feeder just does it for them. As he gets a rotate on the way. It's Detour. Not one you want to face if you're Nexus. Limited time as well. As Nubik senses it. Eclot ready for this attack. K1 Feeder gets one. Eclot peeks that as well. Only a bit of damage, but K1 Feeder, he can just do a little bit more here. The round's over. And Excello, yet again the one left alone. Cannot even get the bomb down, even as he stays alive. That's all they'll have. Coming into round number 26. Eclot. I think that's a 4-round streak. That is a 4-round streak. Again, just a whole new animal. Eclot coming out of the timeout. Or even just after before the timeout when they got that gun round. I guess counting from then on, it's just been fantastic from them. Looking confident on all fronts. As Nexus Gaming, with that T economy, are still able to go for something of a half buy. Cello gets an AK obviously carried into this round. The rest will have upgraded pistols and some armor on them. Yet again. That time almost caught off completely. Stays alive, but just about. Nexus go quickly towards apartments here. I found a lot of space early on. Nobody guarding it. Arching his capstan. Manages still to get that entry frag on the board. Valencia was playing his usual position in pit as well. And then Detour from behind. That is aggressive. Yet again, it's Eclot's confidence that is really now building. Detour part of that, and justifiably so. So they finally takes him down, but it's not enough. Big trades. 13-all. Eclot have brought us back into equilibrium. With only a couple more to play here. In the first map of the series of this grand final. It's a full buy on both. No major complaints. Outside of maybe a bit of utility there on Nexus. We'll see if that impacts their decision making within this round at all. Eclot want to challenge but back away quite quickly. In fact, Detour's gone down. Nexus pounce off it. K1 Feeder there to stop. Gets one. The bleeding not quite there for them as Nexus wants to still attack it quickly. That's cost them. As Nubik and Capson have rotated in. K1 Feeder still alive. He finally goes down, but only for Nubik to rotate through and to find his couple kills. And Eclot on the verge of getting back in the lead. Braga goes for the bomb. The spray is there, not even a bomb plant. as Eclot have 14. Bit of a messy round that was, but in the end, Eclot, they survive and they overcome in that one. Just having those quick rotations en route. The big part of their success there. Dealing a lot of early damage to Nexus, who felt like they were going almost too much off of instincts. Were so hungry to refrag and pounce off the early mistake from Eclot and from Detour that they eventually sort of got tunnel vision. Eclot now could definitely have match point. It's Nexus with only a half buy. And nade stack. So if this nade stack doesn't work out, I feel like match point is definitely possible. Depends on this B approach. Detour and K1 Fida just about survived. It's K1 who was there in trouble, but he keeps himself ticket. Nexus to go away instead. Detour definitely not dissuaded by the early nades though. He's pushed up quite a bit. They could actually rotate over. K1 Fida here probably is. Nade damage has gone the other way. Valencio back in pit. Has Nubik with him as always. Valencio holding from a different angle this time around. 2 kills. And the damage. Valencio is so dangerous there. With a free K picked up. Detour already flanking. Has the bomb within reach. And Eclot have 15. What a comeback from Dynamo Eclot on their own map pick of Inferno. You can see it right there. 7 on the trot. Now only having to beat out a full buy round from Nexus. They still will have a second chance even if they lose this one. With so much money being built up for the CT side, but still would be a sign of strength to really finish it off in this one. Set themselves up for a psychological edge for the rest of the series. Detour, what a spray! Fully flashed and yet still finds it. Nexus not really tempted to go back in there to Banana Knight. Can't blame them too much. Senna will try to peek, but flashed away. As Eclot stack up on A. Aggressive move. It's Capson. It's shadow spotted. Don't love that peek. Here's Nubik. Holding the angle, but pretty lonely all of a sudden. Capson away. Maybe need to rotate back a player now from the A site. They probably should. Everyone repositions them, yeah. Like this is risky. They're putting up a lot on it being that A site. Finally a rotation is there. Still K1 Fida will have to make an impact. Even with Cemente faking towards A. Nubik will get here to assist. A flash from Nubik. He pushes himself through. What a flashbang! What a spray! So much damage! So much havoc caused! And it's 16 for Eclot. That rotation from Nubik, that couple kills from K1 Fida proves to be enough. As Dynamo Eclot have won it in the end. A fantastic comeback with 8 rounds in a row for Dynamo Eclot. What a first map that was on the grand finals here in the EPULZE Invitational. Oof, we're gonna need a breather. I think we really do need a breather. We'll be right back though. I mean, just in a moment or so, we're gonna be taking a look to see if Nexus's map pick, if Nexus can win it back on their own map pick, to see if we can go to a decider of Mirage, or if Eclot are going to win this one out in 2. Either way, their streak of winning all of their games with their opponents not getting to double digits within this tournament has been broken, and this game looks tighter than ever as we head into Dust 2 in just a moment. Till then, take care, but see you back in a bit.
Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye. No. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna say goodbye, no.
I can't wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh, like my life inside a car. Hit the button, drive real far. Put that record on me like, I'm dreaming of you, I dream of a new life. Fight in the dark till we see the sunlight. My love, it's you lately I've been feeling down.
I used to dream about money, about a big house, but all I want is you. Your touch of fire when you love me, desirable, attainable, yeah, all I want is you. We are all the same, fame, attention, confirmation. Why do we care? What is it worth? What is it all worth? We are all the same. We want to be loved, but that is not the same as being loved by you. We are all the same. We want to be loved, but that is not the same as when I'm I used to dream about a cruiser that drove against the wind, but all I want is you. I know that fire when you touch me, my vision gets so dimmed. Yeah, all I want is you. We are all the same, fame, attention, confirmation. Why do we care? What is it worth? What is it all worth? We are all the same. We want to be loved, but that is not the same as being loved by you. We are all the same. We want to be loved, but that is not the same as when I'm loved by you. By you. By you. What is it all worth? We are all the same. We want to be loved, but that is not the same as being loved.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for map 2 between Dynamo, Eclot, and Nexus Gaming. You're watching the EPULZE Invitational, the inaugural EPULZE Invitational Grand Final between these two teams who have battled all the way to get here and have already battled on map 1 of Inferno. That was Eclot's map pick, and that was a map that they eventually won out, having come back all the way from 13-8 down with an 8-round win streak to take it 16-13. Now we move on to Nexus' map pick to try and see if they can come back in the series, get us to Mirage, which would be our hypothetical potential decider. Eclot starting CT, it's Nexus on that T side as they pick the map. Raga, okay, Raga, BTN, Excello, already ready to kick this one off. It's all three of them with nice headshots in the early part of this round, but I guess Eclot not to be outdone, or K1 Feed at least not to be outdone. Surely not keeping them in the round, though. Yep. Be pretty much a wipeout. In the end, Nexus Gaming, work it out. I mentioned it on Inferno, these teams having played each other before this year with these 5 on both teams. That was at the end of February in the Pinnacle Winter Series, when it was also best of 3. It was also these 3 maps. Eventually, Eclot winning 2-1 through Inferno, 16-4 there. They also played Dust 2. Nexus won that one, 16-12, or 16-9 rather. And I think that's kind of what made me so confident ahead of this second map, that Nexus were going to bring it back, make it 1-1, just because of how well they played that series and how well they usually play on this map. One of their strongest for sure. Last time putting up some brilliant stats with the likes of Lonex and Raga especially. With a 1.82 rating against the Eclot last time out. 26-13. On again what was not a lot of rounds, 25 rounds played there. Valencia does pick up a kill in this round, otherwise Nexus still very much in control. With only an empty 9 here as well, Valencia can't do too much. Oh, but he can! What a spray down! That gives them a chance. Detour, Capson want to capitalize. They have a scout each. Even as Detour's tied down. That surprising free K from Valencia has given them a shot now. As Capson is going to be welcome. Not by much. Capson comes in. That's a 1-on-1. Detour, still with that scout in hand, is 1 shot away from death. And I think Excello knows that. And unfortunately, Detour, his life starts to run out. His time starts to run out. And his chances dwindling. Does not know where Excello stands. And shot down in the end. That's still 4 kills from Eclot, but Nexus still to win it. Largely for Excello. Detour did play well in that Dust 2 game. When they played. That was his first series with Eclot. In general, he played so well within it. Within that whole series, but they do need Capson to play a lot better this time around. As that all presence, only got 11 kills in those 25 rounds. Nubix 12 with poor numbers. But if they can match the energy they had on the CT side there as they were coming back on Inferno, I think they can definitely give Nexus a run for their money here on this map. Capson played with some conviction there as well in that comeback, especially on the AWP at the early stages of it, to get them some of that positive momentum. So I'd love to see more of that aggressive opping from him. They failed to do much of anything in this round, get 1 kill I guess, but nothing significant. An op should be in Capson's hands. It's dropped over. The rest do get the rifles as well, with plenty of utility on the board. We'll see if Nexus can hold them off. Only needing to reinvest on a rare few fronts. Having plenty of money saved up for that next round then. They just rush B. No, they don't. They put up like 4 players in tunnels just running so quickly. They get out. Actually going for mid here. The nade not quite in it for Nubik, who Could have done a whole lot more damage than 25 or so he does to Raga there. Eventually backs away from short as well. Nexus take it over. At least the early part of that. Eclot instead playing a lot from CT here for the mid defense. Nexus step. They can't call in Capson just yet. Valencio peeks out from below. He gets the kill. Never traded. I think they know that Valencio's in there as well. As Capson will start to peek. Having spotted one, BTN takes him down. BTN single-handedly creating something on this A site. Only to be shot down. It's a 2-on-3. And then Detour, a narrow fight, but in the end Nexus take it. That was really a trench warfare on the A site. Felt like nobody got out of their ditch, but Nexus make it work. And a great round to win to have good control of this first half. To have that potential at the very least. Eagles out for Eclot. Not a lot of armor on board and utility lacking as well. They're spread out for the most part here with... I thought they were going to go even more mid actually. Only take a slight gander through Catwalk there, the rest going away as Nexus playing with a lot of grouped up portions of players as you'd expect. No one to take any risks in this type of round. Eclot kind of playing it passively though, so not giving Nexus a whole lot of chances to win this round super quickly or without pain, without sacrifice. Detour, what a nade on him. Okay, one feeder left alone on this B side then, but he's also volleyed out, flashed away. Good for a bit of damage. And a solid round in the end. Nexus, that does end up looking quite seamless. And they don't actually need a whole ton of sacrifices to win that one through. With best case scenario right now just being a save, but even that looks a little bit unlikely for Capson. Who will hide away on short for now. Has the money to buy up and up in the next round, I guess is a positive sign. Can maybe kill off BTN here. Nope. Nexus out 5. Eclot. They do want to get into this one now. They changed it up. Double up setup. Wondering if K1 keeps that on him or if he drops it over. So perhaps Detour. Guess we'll find out. They do have a couple who can play the role there of the second upper. K1 picks it up this time. He'll actually play up towards that base site. As Capson wants to help out. And the initial long take. BTN challenging. Tagged it up significantly now. And gone. Good kill for Valencio. Nexus pounce off it in shorts. Capson is there. Good flick. As he holds a different angle as well. Nexus can't get a single step through without being shot at right now. And even with a trade on short, best case situation again, best case scenario, the bomb plant, and that's already achieved. So Lonex now with almost an impossible clutch has the 2 kills, but bridge too far. I see Eclot win a round back. That's just the way to do it as well. Just confident on that A site in the way that they were able to hold. They're bickering about Molotovs and whatever right now. It looks like trying to get as much util on the board as possible. Obviously, it is kind of important on that CT side with the more frail economy compared to the terrorists. And they do get to keep those 2 ops in the round, which is a good sight to see for their economy. That's less good. Perhaps unlikely damaged. K1 plays towards B again. Excella there. Up on off. It's K1 feeder. That's the second upper on the team. Take out Excello. Straight up. Love that from him. Capstan meanwhile boosted up. Flashed away. Nexus limit the early round damage, I suppose. 5-on-3 there could have really impacted their chances of even staying competitive in this round. Eclot keep, but pretty high defensive line here in on short. Still wants to challenge for even that type of control. Nexus, I'll have to make a decision soon. Locks. Gets a trade. That has broken up the short angle, but Nubik's still in there. And an anti-flash. Perfectly done! Nubik. So smart on that angle. And Saminte left all alone. Eclot with another really perfect round. What a spray from Nubik. What a play from Nubik. Textbook stuff. As he takes the first kill, he looks away. Just knowing, by instinct, by heart, the flash was on his way. Turns back around, and the spray on the last player as well is really impressive. That was a dominant showing on Catwalk from Nubik. And Nexus all of a sudden struggling. They do go for long and actually get it pretty easily this time around. Flownx already in the pit with 140 on the clock. Plenty of time to play around with. BTN still throws himself in the middle. Dragon wastes a lot of attention here from the CTs. All on his own. Go face Capstan. Holding this narrow angle. Oh, what a strike! Capstan with a 5-on-4 now as Nexus look for the site. Oh, what a shot though! Right back! Capstan all alone. And caught out. Just exchanging really impressive blows back and forth right now. As Nubek hits one right back to deliver a 3-on-3. Molotov to force the Saminte out. It has done so, but only to trade one out. It's Excello against K1. Last round, K1 won this one out in the op duel. He takes out the P250, jumping back and forth. Excello just holding the angle. No smoke for K1. Wider and wider. As time starts to run out, Excello can just peek on it. K1 running out of time, running out of options. Excello wins it. And 6-2 Nexus. Keeping their economy afloat there as well as keeping charge of the first half. Double up reinvested as well. That is going to be a blow to Eclot's economy in return. If they don't win this round, Eclot, they are in a little bit of trouble. Facing a 7-2 scoreline with no money is not the right start to a game. K1 back on the op on bait. They don't expect it. He holds it down. Perfectly done. K1. It's whack-a-mole right now. But it's the hamster taking out the hammer. The smoke is there finally for Nexus, but surely can't get too far. In fact, Dito will just spray through it. If a bomb dropped, Excello abandons his position and deserts all the way back into T-spawn. I'll have to be wary for the remaining minute and 10 in an attempt to save this AWP. Valencia already hot on his heels. Don't think they're going to throw too many CTs at him, but would be quite the win here for Valencia. Senna looks the wrong way. Wow. Actually, only go for the one op here. Interesting. K1 Feeder removes his AWP. I guess to sort of reinvent the wheel while the wheel is still hot in some way. Where it's done its part, that AWP on K1. Nexus will not be making that same mistake again. And so it's just not going to really help them in any way now. I think is Eclot's reasoning. Probably also expecting a pistol buy here in some regard. You can see K1 feed up ready for the nade initially. part of that setup. Both have nades here on the B site. Still to use in that Molotov and Detour. A rifle much better here, of course, so makes sense that they did swap it over. Molotov will have to be well timed there from Detour. Plays away a little bit away from B site in this setup. No one jump spotting too aggressively either, so there's not going to be a lot of time for Detour to throw this one in. That smoke from Nexus makes the sign of presence there in tunnels. They're not showing a lot of presence elsewhere. BTM will solo go through mid as Detour's already needed down too. Wow. That was just not very dramatic, was it? Detour with a fantastic 4K and then Feeder locks it up. Wow, okay. There was just no concern there apparently as Nexus gets SIP in that round. Even kill distribution here on both sides actually. They kick this game off. See if anyone rises above the rest. Nexus is really looking for different options right now. An even worse buy in this round. What last round was kind of an eco, this one. This round just makes that one look like a full. All Glocks. No armor. This K1 has the opening frag already. Steps as well to ready up. I think he's expecting a sizable attack. That's not to come. These helps him out. And it does look double to the end. As you'd expect, it was only 5 Glocks, you know. 5-6 then. Eclot have climbed their way back into this first half. I think I said it when they were 2-6 down that it ended up being kind of a not a must win, but certainly a much improved offset if they did win that round. And you've seen where it's got them to, where they could still win this half, even on the CT side of Dust 2, which mind you is Nexus' map pick, having already won that first map. Eclot, Detour, and Feeder with such an impressive push into middle. Making them the opening frag yet again. Nexus will work on A long as a countermeasure, knowing that everything else is lost right now. Eclot have all of the information. But a setup is here on A already with several players. Several bits of utility thrown out. Raga entries up, good frag. Spots out so many of them, but he is traded. Tor goes back down, and Nubik still in there. Nubik may have delivered a significant blow. They can't get out. They 2-on-2 on the site still to a little bit inconclusive. There's several Molotovs here for Eclot to use. I'm surprised they don't use them sooner. Minte is forced off, but only on paper. No kill there. K1 comes through. What a flash. So well timed. And K1 has the round. Eclot played it so simple there as well. I love that. They stayed patient. They just flashed one another through to deliver a fantastic round, tying things up and setting themselves up to take the lead here as we go into round 13 with Nexus on at best a half by on their favored CT, on their favored T side. They win about 61% of their rounds on T. There's Valencia. Wow. Yet again, these aggressive output. This aggressive output from Eclot is really impressive. This is not quite what they showed in that previous series when they lost 16-9. They're already almost reaching those types of levels. They could reach 9 rounds within just this first half. Basically, you just need to win one gun round to get to that. That's if they win out against Raggy. Wasn't a big challenge. So Nexus win, yeah, so 61 or they win 61% of the rounds they win in total on this map. They win on that T side. That's what I was trying to say, I think. 61% of T, if they had a 61% T side win rate, that would be really high. It's not quite to that level. It's an impressive 55%. A little bit weaker on CT side, 45. Can't really analyze, you know, the for the CT or for Eclot here. You can't say too much about their general statistics on the map. They have only played it twice, once against Nexus and then one out against Ambush 16-12. It's such a small margin. No way to say anything big picture just about this map. Some of these players though that didn't perform in that series on Dust 2 are already stepping up here in a larger capacity. Players like Nubik. Joins Valencio here. Completely taken over long. They have given up in middle, but it was a direct consequence. Nexus haven't made a great use of this mid area, but I guess they do have it. Ah, wow. Down X. That is... He just does it so nonchalantly. Raptures whatever they had going for them on A here. Eclot as Capson is now going to be pressured to hit a few shots up towards Catwalk where Nexus, all of Nexus will be coming from. Eclot already know that. With pushes into B, securing it. The flanks are there, but won't be there in time. Excella takes one. That's on Detour, the flanker. Capson is one opportunity wasted. And Eclot blown out of the round. Nexus tie things back up. This is what we were supposed to see from this T side. All of the half. So good to see it towards the end at the very least. Despite dropping a bit of a streak there in the middle. Two of the CTs, K1 does his best. Obviously he has the money here, so it would be worth going for it. Walks away. If he did get another kill there, maybe could have done something to that economy, but in the end, Nexus will have it. A pretty comfortable way here this T side last round. In terms of the buy, same goes for the CTs, of course. Captain reaching max money there, or somebody reaching max money, whoever it was. 7-0, exactly what we had on Inferno. Coming into round 15. This series has definitely been a tight one, with Eclot eventually closing out on their own map pick of Inferno 16-13 in the end. After a big time comeback from 13-8 down. They buy up 2 ops here. Excello has one on the T side. A little bit more quiet than usual. Cemente. Nice peek. Again, rarely have they used that angle. Frag and actually catches off Nubik as well. That's massive. You can see Nexus knowing now that it is cut off everything from rotations. K1 missing. Cemente wins the round on his own right. That is all him. As Nexus look for 8. And are going to be securing an 8th round. Just like on Inferno. They head into that second half with a slight, if very slight, edge over their opponent. There's no point here for Capson to do anything really. I thought it would kill Toto, I suppose. Not gonna get much in that regard. Nexus have made it hit 7 on their own map pick of Dust 2. They switch over now to a less favored CT side, but facing what's not been a particularly good offense on this map for Dynamo Eclot. Did at least challenge Nexus on that T half on Dust 2 last time out they played. Well, they lost 16-9. But might have to do a little bit more here. They are to win it out in 2 maps, otherwise we will be headed to Mirage as a very exciting decider of this grand final. Just run around the place. Make their way on towards B. Flash. It's good. Saminthe goes down. BTN still in there. I see Jiggle peeks back and forth, but at least have a trade. And a second. Oh, back in. PTN aggressive stuff. Secure quite the blow there to Eclot. They have the tank in Nubik on a P250 plus armor, but still mounting the climb. With 2 players peeking straight at his angle. About a minute on the clock. He might have to wait it out here to make them doubt the tunnel position. Instead peeks in. He gets the 1 kill. Raga just trade it back. And Nexus keep their lead. What could prove quite vital. And what could be quite a difficult lead to disrupt. With Eclot not having a bomb plant in that round as well, largely based on BTN's efforts on the B site. They're tasked with trying to win this round on just mainly Tech 9s and armor. And that often means the B site is a go-to. Looks like a delayed rush being set up. Not too delayed. We'll just disregard that smoke. Oh, but it's a fake, kind of. Interesting. Not sure entirely if what their end goal is with that, since they didn't look to catch anyone off rotating in from mid. Maybe it's just to make this A site a little bit more uncomfortable and slightly more out of position. They're rushing through catwalk. Have to watch out for BTN here from CT. He peeks out, gets 1. Have the bomb plant. Nexus don't have a lot of utility to use, but still in a man advantage. Obviously the weaponry as well on a long range is not ideal. They trade it back to Eclot. The Tech 9s with a vengeance and a man advantage. And now they get close range. And that's where K1 Frida excels. Look at them go. Eclot win out that round. I was so doubtful of that for very long. But they do take it. Nexus Gaming simply couldn't keep the distance up. Maybe rushing that one. As Eclot came back with so many kills in a row there. Which only pressured Nexus further. We're now on just the Eagles. Good strike from Low Next, but already traded. We do stack up on it. Long range, obviously not necessarily a weakness here with the Eagles in hands, but even though Eclot still look quite comfortable in the angle, even as Nexus start to creep up from mid and the sword. One throws in the smokes. No gap there to expose. They waited out patiently. I think they're expecting that mid push to have gone a little bit more aggressive and tried to flank early, but I like this as well because look at where Nexus are drawn. So many of those players going towards the B site because of how long Eclot waited. It's almost a double fake in that regard as they head back into the site. BTN caught. And even if they do have a couple players from below, none in good positions. Still only the Deagles. K1 yet again. Cello and Raga stack up. As Eclot have tied things up. Solid stuff here from Eclot tactically so far on this T side. Both in the buy round and in that one. And I guess in some regard, even if I didn't agree with it necessarily, that's in the force buy round. And they only had the Tech 9s. Even if it didn't look super pretty, I guess it did work, right? So, who am I to complain about that? As Nexus go for a full mid push here with the USPs. Eclot ready for it. D4 ready for it. Gets a couple. Peter helps out as well. Wow. 10-9. In record time, Eclot coming right back and having that lead now. We'll see if they can keep hold of it in what is a bonus round for them. Nexus with 5 M4s. If they lose this round, they're out for trouble in the series and in the tournament. Or in the grand final, I should say. Reminder that it is a 10k prize pool they're playing for. In total, 7k goes to the winner, 3k to the loser. Nothing for anyone else in the tournament. It was all about getting to this final. Nubik has already sacrificed himself. The amount of presence on long though, I'm surprised they didn't just head for bait. I guess that's kind of what they're doing now. Smoking over in the middle. BTN hedges the smoke. It's right between it. Cemente down in CT as well. Won't be able to help too much as BTN makes it work. So much damage. And Detour alone. Good shot though. Caps at a free sight. If Detour just holds them off here, they have a chance. Detour free kills. And Capson has so much information. He goes for the bomb plant. Detour will have to help out. So fake plant is not good enough. And Detour's efforts, not sufficient. He did his very best, but his teammates would have needed to do a little bit more damage. Maybe Capson would have had to add an AK if they were to have a chance in that round. In the end, Nexus back on at 10-0. That was, again, as I pointed out before the round, a bonus for Eclot. They were playing with house money. Now they're able to buy back up. Bad strike from this again. Flash, not even enough. Launex, what are you made of? That's twice over now where Nubik has kind of fed the CTs in long. Capson still wants retribution. That's one kill. And at the B site trying to be taken over. Trade. K1 not enough. And Eclot, their firepower is not quite there right now on this T side. They have the right ideas, but twice over in the gun rounds, there's simply not enough production for most of the players in these 50-50 duels, or even in the trade game. You can see there, when two players get killed off by one man in long, and the same is true for obviously in tunnels, that's just going to put you in such a handicapped position. Jefferson has an op in this round. Gone. Nice K1. Recovers it. But it's Eclot are not starting off these rounds the way you want them to. They've been in a 4-on-5s now. For a few too many in a row. ETN. Nade. Not quite. Gonna find its mark there. You can see Detour as well. Getting adventurous. He's got all of long. Now Nexus is afraid to peek him. Could be some massive space gained. Detour wins the fight. And that makes Nexus look a little scared all of a sudden. Their counter move is to push up two players in short. Detour's already rotated out of long. Nubik to face up against them. The Tech 9 is there for the trade, but still a 2-on-1 in Nexus's favor. K1, meanwhile, misses his shot. His opportunity in mid. I think Nexus will think it's long now, right? Especially when K1 smokes over. All three of Nexus are on that A site. But I wonder for how long. You can see them already starting to move. And K1 will have to get to the B site sometime soon. He peeks instead. Wins it! Massive! Still 20 seconds. Bomb is down. And K1's still on the A site. He goes down though, so it's a 1-on-2. That's not perfect. Nexus realizing that it is B. Just have to clear out that position. Both coming here from middle. I think Detour has heard it. Excello looks for it. 12-10 it is. I think K1 could have... I mean, if you win that first fight, you've at some point got to back away. There were just too many angles to hold off. Really, probably should have rotated off, I think, K1. Because it just felt like, you know, it was a matter of time before he went down, rather than being an if question. Eclot keep forcing, by the way. Barely any ecos in these rounds for that T side, who are ending up on pretty limited buys in some of these. This one almost even more so without an open round. Just a scout on Capson. Eclot's still on the hunt for 11. And it's this round up. We put this map in jeopardy for them. Capson. Flash that. Maybe wasn't needed. Moving pace up. What a spray! Excello's left all alone. Valencio hears the steps as well. The rotates. I think he knows about Cemente. I think Excello has that trade though. Wow. Nice flick. Tag down. Holds the angle. Raga nails it. And Eclot with a delayed rotate here, not quite going to have the same impact. Valencio still adventuring out towards mid, but could be dangerous. Excello to peek on the angle. He nails it again. And Nexus is winning a lot of fights here. They spot out Cemente. Just a trade. K1 feet are barely getting to cross here. We'll take the fight. Bad choice. It's frustrating, man. Eclot are playing a really frustrating round of CS on Dust 2. They keep losing these fights because a lot of what they're playing are just... They're taking a lot of bad decisions right now. Like a couple per round. Which is not typically what you'd see from Eclot, even on the T side. Where they do look a whole lot more solid most of the time. This has just not been great from players that are typically a whole lot more solid in their playstyle. That time just giving up the 5-on-3 in a disappointing regard for sure. Because they were in that 5-on-3, but then I think it, for a moment, turned into a 1-on-3 before they finally got a kill. Like, you cannot lose 4 players there without a single refrag. That is just not winning Counter-Strike. Eclot with a half by here. They'll rush short. Pretty obvious. Left. Lines them up. He gets traded. BTN knocked out. Valencio could secure a bomb plant through the help of Capson. Oh, it's dropped in CT. That's rough. And that's 14 for Nexus, who just need to win what's going to be a pretty limiting buy round now. Oh. Valencio does only have 14 health, but I guess that's the one limiting factor. Does not have an op either, so that's kind of the problem. I have to take 2 heads up duels here. Only with an M4, so no one shot potential. Raga takes him down. Must win for Eclot to stay on Dust 2. Our chance at this map as to not draw us directly into Mirage as the decider. Which would be quite a contentious map. Anyone's game, really. More so than Inferno or Dust 2. There is obviously a clear favourite in the one who's picking it. Couple boosts early on here for Eclot. None of them really providing too much entry potential. Or I guess some potential, but certainly no frags found from it. This Nexus playing a pretty passive setup. Not even close to short right now. Eclot playing far behind. Knocked it off. Falls down, yeah. Eclot, that's a lot. A lot of control early on. About a minute on the clock. We'll not have to jeopardize anything to get all of short. Which is where they've put a lot of their players. Still some potential for them to go mid to B, I suppose. Those are kind of their two options. Flashing into short now. Control secured. Time dwindling. Only free here on short right now. One jumps off. K1 feeder. It is a mid to B. Smart stuff, but fortunately for them, nobody was even playing in CT at all. Still will only be 2 players who can run B site though. Raga all alone now. And perfectly traded. As Eclot surely have made it 11. Just in time there, get the bomb down. Might still be around out of this. Nexus will try. Have the 2 players left, but surely won't be expecting the 2 stack up here, as Capson has already found his opening. And that's 11. With Nexus straight into an eco. Yeah. it's basically just USPs here. Just Mintay could buy up a little bit. But he might want to save up for an op there to drop over. So there's just nothing. Not even a flashbang or a nade. Or anything. But that's clearly shown off in the long setup. Eclot wipe it clean. Without any major issues. Did actually have a deagle in there. But off the mark initially. Oh, he does find a kill. See if we can save that over. Being hunted already. Eclot obviously on the T side can sacrifice a couple here. For the cause, if required to. Detour would love this frag immediately, or at least the information. Not quite. K1 feeder coming in from middle now. That's the hunting crew. Won't be able to see if he's crossed or not, though. Zexello just hides away. And that boosted up position. Has he been spotted? I think so. K1 feeder. Does he go for suicide here as well? Yes! Zexello caught out. Eclot have diminished what Nexus carry into this round quite greatly. With Raga and Co in a troublesome spot. They will get some M4s, I guess. No, they actually just go for a half buy here. No, alright. Sorry. Bad call on my part. It just looked like when an MP9 was being brought up on one end and sort of someone getting to 2k just about. Looked like it was going to be that instead. Nexus go for the book for line and the aggressive push! Nubik denies. Even as he gets a headshot right back at him, so he's tagged out. Nexus are down in the 4-5, and Capson could make it worse. He does. Wow. Nexus Gaming. These aggressive peaks, not to their benefit early on. And they can't fall victim to another comeback for Eclot in the second half. We already saw it once on Inferno. When they won 16-13. With 8 rounds in a row. Wouldn't be quite as dramatic, I think. Yeah, but still. Would almost be more surprising in some way. Considering it is really one of Nexus's home maps. Eclot go for long, nobody over there. Obviously with only 3 players, you have to sacrifice something on a big map like this. Nexus have decided to sacrifice most of A. Go for more of a retake here. That Nexus is the closest player. He's on the gun MP9. And yeah, they don't need to go for this, I think. Eclot start to build up quite an economy. But also, Eclot should not care about their economy. Right now, I think they should put almost 4 players to hunt as soon as they realize that nobody's coming. Because it doesn't really matter what their economy looks like as long as they can keep buying into the next round. If Nexus get match point, then they get match point, you know. But here, if they allow 3 players to save, they're giving Nexus a great chance to in the next round. Where otherwise they would have nothing. As you can see, a couple players start to pile up towards B. Oh, and what a shot as well. Valencia. Taking further. Only the one, but still be in trouble as K1 Fida gets another. Even as Low Nexus got him right back. That has diminished what Nexus can do in this round. That 2 for 2 is worth it. By all intents and purposes. The Eclot's economy is still looking really good. And a half buy comes out for Nexus. Which is not super promising. I don't know. The Eagles will have to do a bit. Allow Nexus. M4 will have to do even more, but that scout kicks it off in just the right way. They were going to go for really high aggression again, but now with the 5-on-4 they back away. Rightly so. Eclot taking some time to even clear out the early parts of mid. Afraid that somebody was going to be still playing quite highly there. Target. What a shot. Nexus Gaming in a half buy round are on top right now. They have to stop the bleeding. The pressure's rising on them. They do walk into the site with no LAN X, but they've already given up an AK to this site. Eclot gets one. Good kill from K1. Excella on the scout, already tagged down. And Eclot have at least again stopped that bleeding, but the LAN X comes back from short. And back in the man advantage they go. Detour on the site. K1 on the site. Hold it off again. It's really dangerous now. K1, it's a 1-on-1. And both are 1 shot away. K1 peeks in first, and he gets it down. 1-on-2 for K1. And around that really was up in the air for some time. We have 14 all on map 2. With Eclot 1 map ahead. They've climbed back. If that's 3 or 4 in a row, I think, yeah, 4. And 14-10. This would be so impressive. Again, on what is one of the home stands for Nexus. A big part in them having a chance the last time they played each other. In winning that map then. And drawing it to a decider event. Eclot just 2 rounds away from winning the tournament. So close now, but Nexus could just as well draw us to Mirage As Siminte gets caught a little bit. 30 health left on him. Lencio attacks long, meanwhile, with good flashes from Eclot. It's really pushed off those CTs. And Eclot establish themselves several fronts. Panic. But Valencia is not going to matter all too much. This Nexus play. I think they have shriveled up a little bit. A lot more passive now, you can see in these final couple buy rounds. When the pressure is really high. Not wanting to go for all too much. No flash here even for BTN to move in on. Because the alone Valencia out towards A, the rest head towards B. Op is there for Excella. Siminte, the damaged one. From that early damage early in the round. They're both here. As Excella gets touched by the flash. They know where he is. They hold the angle. Oh, and he gets shot out. K1 feeder takes out Siminte as well. They almost have 15. It's just within reach. Braga, BTN, they save. And Eclot have climbed all the way back yet again. On the verge of winning it in 2. Who would have thought on this map of Dust 2 we'd go all 30 rounds and that'd be Eclot with a chance to win it all just in 2. Nexus will still have some money to play around with full loss bonus as well to try and draw us into overtime, but clear advantage for Eclot now. Not just in that score, but just in the momentum. It is massive. Okay, what does he check this? Nexus. Let's look at that buy. 1 M4, 2 M4s. Siminte will be fine. Not all too diminished in the end. So not a lot of excuses can be made. Not any. If they lose this map. Nexus put 4 men on long. K1 feeder. Not gonna get anything on the early spawn. Did he leave an AK? Yeah. Okay. Thought they were gonna be playing with double ops here on the T side. I don't know if that's the case. He throws that one away. Smokes into mid as well to set up for Valencia and Nubik. They move closer. Eclot mostly in tunnels now, I suppose. Got Nexus Gaming, who yet again do decide to play it passively. And I fear that's not all just a choice that they wanted to make. Feels more and more like it was like they've been forced into this. That's a good kill. BTN, massive stuff. Does get the opening. Well, Valencia, when he wasn't quite ready for it. 44 now. But no op on this B site to fear. Even if Eclot definitely seemed to be afraid of it. Siminte Raggi here to defend it instead. Flashes to come through. Another B site hit to be relied upon. MB Nubik with a fantastic opening. Raga comes in, triple spray down, and we have overtime. Oh my goodness. What a regulation once again. Eclot with such a massive comeback, and yet Nexus hold out with a big time Raga play as one of the main stars of this team. And all now decided upon in the overtime instead. This is the first overtime of the tournament. It's coming what could possibly be the last map of the tournament. Depending on how it shakes out. Nexus still looking to draw us into Mirage. And their own map pick here of Dust 2. Dragon on the AWP. Tagged up. Mollied out. Nades here as well for Eclot to use. That's one of them. This is that time. Capstan has them. Got an Eclot securing that kill in the end. Be really good for their chances of executing well into this ace site. Nexus have rotated a lot of players over there. Having the information from Cemente here that it's not really going to be B. Been on the clock. Eclot do not want to take any chances here. They smoke out. Yeah, play it cool. BTN and ramp now. A weird angle. Jumps up. Showing himself. Did Nexus think it's a fake? We've seen this before from Eclot. Just the delayed push. Renewed smokes. That comes from BTN though. Almost pushing through them to deliver a 4-on-4 instead. He peeks out. Goes down. Valencio has it. And Eclot back involved. 20 seconds though. Still have to get out towards that site. One still up there. And damage still yet to be caused. Detour gets tagged down. He's blown out of the round. Excello traded. And K1 tagged up. Wow. Yeah, that's a bad execute. That is like the most typical. Wow. That's the most typical sort of execute I can think of to kick off an overtime from a team that aren't maybe as comfortable on this map. On that T side, it's so easy to sort of overthink it, and I really do think that they waited out a little bit too long that time. You need to give yourself some margin in on a map like this, an overtime like this. That's BTN has found another opening towards long. That's with Nexus Gaming. It's also very spread out. Eclot less so, they head into middle. Is that mid to be? I think it might be. For now, just holding off. You've got 5 CT players as a T side. You're probably expecting at least somebody to be in this region. That's just not the case. Nexus have completely abandoned mid, giving Eclot nothing to find there. And towards CT, they can do a quick execute though. Faking mid to B. What can that draw away? Both drop down here with CTs. K1 a good opening. 2 players yet to kill here on the A site, but Eclot have made it to the site. K1 comes back through, and Excello found out. What an execute! What a turn of events. As Eclot completely go against what they did last round. The opposite in terms of an execute here. K1 just hiding towards car as Capstan has found out. K1 peeks out, and Eclot have 16. If they can win this round, they would be in dreamland, Eclot. On a favoured CT side. This would be absolutely massive. I have the 2 ops again here. I think mostly just to... Oh, triple ops even. I think... Obviously with it being the last round, they could wipe the AKs as well, drop over. After going for initial peaks here. K1 for example. Only does a bit of damage. Detour goes down. What an aggressive push that is. Raga as well. Eclot really getting found out by these 2 ops. And that's just not the way to have it. In the final round of a first overtime half, you can't just let yourself lose the round before it's been played, basically. Where they've barely seen anyone and yet they're down to a 3-on-5. Facing such an uphill battle here where they're forced to head towards B. And what has sometimes been a hard site to take over. Raga and Cemente holding over there. Valencia holding. Does go information both ways. Nexus only looking for the mid angle here. B, no, Raga still in there. And round almost over. If bomb dropped, again, it's Eclot kind of being funneled into an angle where they don't really want to be. Flashes through, caps and peaks. Good one! And a chance all the same. Now they have to find some insight, but they don't. Capstan, only a trade, and it's Nexus 17. Eclot 16 as we swap over. After a first half of overtime. A little bit inconclusive as to who's on top, really. Obviously, Nexus have the lead, but that CT side is where Eclot have a chance to really shine. In overtime, in that high-pressure situation, I think you'd almost rather be on the CT side, to be honest. It is so easy to sort of get caught up in executing and overcomplicating things, but Excello does it. He kicks this one off splendidly. Okay, another man advantage for Nexus in this overtime. This would be for match point of map 2. Eclot in that hypothetical spot, needing to win 2 in a row. If you can keep this first 2 map alive. Failed smoke comes in towards middle. I think that's taunted Valencia into wanting to peek. And they do. That's a lot of middle uncovered. This next also put a lot of souls down into A long. See Valencia tempted to go in even further. Next, not really holding the angle right now. Cemente all alone towards lower tunnels. Capson not patient enough there. But Valencia has gotten out of trouble. At least from that side of things. We'll see if he pushes forward even further. No. But we're 40 seconds now. Nobody's holding him. Now Nax gives up on his angle. Capson peeks back in towards short. Needs to stay patient over there. But doesn't. And Dieter's alone there. He gets one. Valencia also. That's it. Nexus on course for match point, even against the K1 field who's been red hot for just 2. The op in his hands. A limiting factor, perhaps. Picking back and forth. Should know that there's somebody on the site. Now next, a little bit afraid of peek. Does not do any damage initially. Flashes there. K1 jumps through the smoke on the other end. That was a nice move, but still found out in the end. Good idea. Was never really favoured in that type of clutch. Now Eclot need to win 2 in a row to draw us to a second overtime. Double ops back in. Fida and Capson. We might need to impact this one a little bit. Capson, that is. Dustin, not really his map, despite being an offer. Doesn't really play that style. Here he comes though. Peeks up. That's a chance. Whiffs! Badly! But good on the second. It's not going to hold that spot too proactively. But backs away with Nubik right around his corner as well. They played this short system before. Molotovs all over the place there from the seaside. Smokes will have dried up before a minute. It's on the clock, so Nexus not going to be too afraid of that. They line up to still go in. No flashes. That hurts. Capson, only a kill. And 3 on 3 instead. Raga found out. Oh, what was that? Eclot had nothing on A outside of Valencio. So now back in jeopardy and back in a 2-on-2. Detour already pushed in, does not have a lot of information here, Detour. Waiting on K1 Fida's flank. Cemente holds the angle. K1 is good for it. As Excello's all alone, Detour tags him down and has kept it alive for Eclot for just another round. And yet again, we go into maximum rounds. This time for the first overtime. And crazy stuff that we're witnessing here on. We're in the grand final. Okay, one tagged up. No op on him this time. They would have had the money as well. Oh, there it is. That's reasonable. In that it's tagged up as well. Obviously, you prefer to have that up on you. Captain boosted up. Another chance. Wow. Well done. Nexus still going to put up a couple players towards A long, but their attack looks a whole lot weaker now. As Eclot have back-to-back found those 5-on-4s. And they're just on any map so good at closing these rounds out when they have the man advantage. A definitive man advantage. They're almost above 70% on every map, including Dust 2. Statistically. And round win percent after that. After having that man advantage. Nexus will go towards A long. 4 players for them over here. Facing quite a few from the CTs though, still on the site. A few smokes preemptively dropped for Eclot. Try and create a few more angles here. The op shot from Capstan is no good. The nade. Better. Detour comes in. The smoke's already faded. And Nexus found out. Capstan holds the angle again. Squares it. Philippe Semente. He's found 2. And 2 more to go. Both tagged up here. Semente. And a chance to still win this one out. Does not have any information to go off of. So Valencia will try to peek him down now. The timing. All that matters. Semente tags him up. K1. Red hot. It's Valencia instead. The draw is to a second overtime as Eclot yet again have made it back. They clearly have that psychological edge. Having come back on Inferno to win that one out. Having come back on this map to draws to an overtime and coming back within overtime now. To get us to a double. Still all up in the air on Dust 2. And we go to a 1st to 22 system. Once you start getting deep into the overtimes, it is quite hard to keep up with how many rounds the team actually needs to win. But just need the 4 here. Probably easier said than done. They just win this round though. On the safety side, you sense that momentum is definitely in their favour. And you already won 2. Must win. Just in every sense of the word. Must win rounds on the CT side. Previous overtime. Getting to play here once again is surely going to give them some type of boost. Nubik here to secure that. As Nexus creep in mid. Nubik has it down. No trade either. Nexus going to struggle to isolate those B players for now. Semente tagged up. Nexus actually evacuate. I think they're going catwalk instead. I think they're going for A instead. Good one top from Capstan is there to delay them if so. Valencia also on the aggressive flank. He's found 2 kills. How did he get that second? 4 on 2. Yeah, that's how it goes. With Eclot. Surely now. Definitively. The positive momentum square unless Excello can make the unwinnable clutch happen. Only has 33 health. That's his main limiting factor as well as Capstan holding down that angle. With a fierce presence he has looked really good here. I did criticize him a little bit coming into the ending stages of the regulation and sort of the closing stages of the first overtime as well, but in the last few rounds he has stepped up. And players like K1 Feed have continued to perform. As Eclot have just found 5-on-4s consistently now all of a sudden. Which they simply could not do, especially on that T side. Long pushes there. BTM wins it that time. Nubik, he can't manage to do much. BTN, a 5-on-3. The smokes are going to be a little bit delayed though, so Detour, can he make use of it? It's not going to really matter. K1 Feed is there. It's a 2-on-4. And it's a Nexus 19 scoreline against the Eclot's 19. That was a poor CT round. One they could have used much more effectively. Even to just stay competitive in that one, you would have had a better feeling going into the final round of the first half here for the CTs. That's Eclot. Might still find themselves a round down coming into half number 2. All about this one. This Nexus, a lot of players in tunnels, have not really gone for this site too often. And if they do, they'd have to face 2 of the best players on the server. Utility still there as well for the CTs. K1 smokes into it. No peek yet. Nexus diversify. Smoke off middle. But laid yet again. So not accomplished too much here, Nexus Gaming. It's only a minute on the clock. They've got to start shaping up their vision. Right now, almost feels a little bit lost. They're just trying every single angle they're getting their hands on. Now moving 2 players up towards long for like a late A-long take. Could get dangerous. There's Capson. To get an opening for Eclot. And Nexus with a just nothing in terms of a sense of direction. Go back in for long. Valencio in there. All he needs is a trade and he gets 1 and 2! Nexus with nothing in this round. Come in from short, but it feels like they've already lost it. They did nothing to even challenge in the final round of the first half of the second overtime. And Eclot have the advantage going into half number 2. Just needing 2 more here, Eclot, to close this series out and to win the entire tournament. That final round from Nexus looked... that was rough. But I guess Eclot... problem here is that this T side has also looked a little bit iffy sometimes. And they can also get caught up in those types of rounds where the sense of direction isn't always super clear. I guess the positive sign for them is that as long as they won 1 round here out of a couple in the second half, they at the very least draw it up to get to a third overtime. But I do think they want to win it now. No way are you playing for a third overtime at this point? If it all to play for here for both teams. BTN nades in. Not significant damage. In fact, Valencio's just pushed up. Raga! Ready for that. An opening found. As Eclot reposition. They need the kill on Launex. Without that, they might just be toast here against 2 on long. Raga at the angle. And I don't think Eclot are expecting a second player. Certainly not looking for it right now. With Raga not even needing to peek. Lumic doesn't check it. And Eclot have lost the round almost in the exact same way that I talked about with Nexus losing that previous one. Where they get caught up in way too many different angles. Not being super clear where they want to go. What they want to accomplish. They'll go for a last ditch effort. Up towards long, but with only 2 players left and some killed. They get flanked down. They get bombed down. 20 all. And Eclot do still look for 1 round to get them to match point. That is... even if again you're not playing for a third overtime, that's almost got to be the primary mission right now, taking it round by round. Good boost, Lumic. Johnson intake. Vitor up on his own right, and an opening for Eclot. Can't overextend here. For fear of Launex pushing up. Getting bashed in. A Detour has him! An Eclot. All of a sudden in a 5-on-3. All predicated on that AWP on Detour. With damage already dealt to Saminte as well. Nexus get desperate. With the AWPs on their end. Looking to push up. Raga on one of them. Good kill. But B is lonely. And Saminte's already on 30 health. Yeah. That was kind of expected. Lead for a third kill. Eclot. A third round in the second overtime means that they are on match point yet again. I had it in regulation. But got drawn into an overtime then. Having come back from 10-14 to 15-14. This time, just needing that one final round just like then. As to not get a triple overtime. BTS. Traded. Wow, that was way closer than I thought. Maybe I shouldn't have counted him out like that. If Detour misses that op shot, they're in business. Not that time. Detour with 4K instead, he was feeling quite hot. Keeps the op, of course, but can buy up an AK to drop in spawn now. Nope, he actually drops it over. That is the selfless nature of this team. Boost up Nubik. Oh, Nubik! Saminte's gotten tagged a bunch of times, but that's a vital kill. Here's K1 feeder. Up again. Out towards long. Knows that BTL's close! But right off of him. I thought that was dead on. Gonna have to be alright with a 5-on-4. As Nexus Gaming keep their 2 ops in the round. One of them placed towards that B site. Eclot haven't really had to face a lot of ops on this site too often. Raga's been really consistent on it over there. Excello. Is this op over in middle where Eclot are gonna head? About a minute on the clock. They get a trade here. They could really splice this map up. Instead of preemptively heading towards A though. This could be a mistake. Only one playing towards that base site. Yep, they look for this one. Waiting it out for now. 30. Before they drop the smokes. A failed one from Detour. Not gonna cost them too much as K1 feeder opens it up. Keeps himself alive. Excello comes through. From under. K1 with a bomb plant. They spot out Excello. No kill for him just yet. Mollied out now. Even as K1's traded. Excello has to get out of there and Detour's already tagged him up. Valencia a trade and just Raga left. Swaps out for the M4 to keep Nexus in the tournament. To keep Eclot from the win. He taps that bomb with not a lot of choices. Only the damage dealt. Eclot can just keep on peeking him down. And they win the series. They win the tournament. And what a final series it was. That is a crazy final. And a worthy final. With our first overtime of the tournament being played in the final map of the tournament. Credit to Eclot, who really did put out such a good performance through all of the tournament. But even in that final, in the end, mounting what looked to be an impossible win on Dust 2 on the home ground of Nexus. They win that one out after coming back on Inferno. They come back and show so much heart, so much vigor. What a tournament it is for them. They win the 7k that you get for first place out of this 10k prize pool. Nexus walk home with the remaining 3,000 on the board. A very fun final, a very fun tournament. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you have enjoyed all of it here, the EPULZE Invitational, the inaugural EPULZE Invitational. We will be hosting so many more tournaments up ahead in the future. But until that next time, you'll have to keep up with the Twitter instead. That's at EPULZE Gaming. You can join up on the website as well, of course, to sign up for your own tournaments to build up your own just pro career. Try to build it there and get to this level that the likes of Eclot are playing at. A very fun tournament and a very worthy win for them. That's been it for me. I've been Stromiz. Hopefully you have enjoyed, as I said, all of this tournament, but also this final, just in general. We'll hope to see you back next time. Until then, take care. Bye for now.
I know we ain't talked in a minute, but what is time? Living in the thoughts and the visions, but between the lines, yeah. I can't even talk with the visions there in my mind. Cause every time I fall, I can feel you there by my side, yeah. So show me the way and I'll follow you. Show me the way, cause that's all I do. Take the leap of faith and I'll dive into my diamonds. I'm finding this divine light inside of you. Tell me that you want me, baby. That ice cold stare, I just wanna know you, baby. From 1 to 3, got me looking everywhere for you. Count the stars, you are my sign. Underneath my skin, feel my bones are creeping in. I don't want this love to end. Underneath my skin, when I look into your eyes, see the miracle of life shining underneath your skin. Underneath your skin. Underneath your skin. Wake up in the morning to get a touch from your arm. No regrets, I can't forget the scent you had on. Fingernails, they tell the tales of sex, but you're gone. Now I wonder what's coming next in this song. So show me the way and I'll follow you. Show me the way, cause that's all I do. Take the leap of faith and I'll dive into my diamonds. I'm finding this divine light inside of